Neil Finn from Crowded House, welcome to RNZ.
Thank you, Charlotte Ryan from RNZ. It's nice to be here.
It's so nice to see you. I do feel like I have to say this to the listeners and make it clear that I have nothing to do with this album that you're celebrating. Because a lot of people still think I've got Finn connections because I worked for you for a few years.
Yeah, no, there's a division of church and state is very healthy, I think, between us. But obviously you'll always be a friend. But professionally speaking, yep, you're now media and I'm music. And never the twain shall meet.
Excellent, excellent. Congratulations on this new album, Gravity Stairs.
Thank you.
Do you feel like Crowded House's sound, or the sound, or the sound and the style of the music has changed over these 40 years?
Oh, it has, yeah. I think my voice has changed. I notice when I'm listening to the older Crowded House songs, I've got a certain adenoidal sound in my voice, and I'm really sound like I'm singing really hard, whereas now I think I've got more control over my voice, which is lovely, and I've got more range. I can sing higher and go lower. So that's nice to know. I hope it lasts. And
is that because you've been working, like doing voice training?
No, I haven't really trained my voice other than do it or sing all the time. I've sung a lot. I kept it in reasonably good shape, I think. And but I think the band has changed because of the lineup, is especially this new. We're only just beginning to find out the wealth and the riches within the band lineup now with Liam and Elroy, my two very talented sons, and Mitchell Froome back in the fray, who was obviously, in terms of the soul and the origin of the band, was very much there. And we're beginning to jam on stage, and yeah, really, the more we play live, the better it feels. So I think we are developing, and I think this record, Gravity Stairs, has definitely got some new angles and shades and echoes, and as did the last one. So yeah, it's very exciting to be developing and to still be changing and evolving.
Yeah, very much so. I love that you've come in for New Zealand Music Month and also for the celebration of the new album. You've bought your guitar and you're going to start playing an oldie but a goodie.
Ah, I am. I was requested for an oldie, and this is one that I don't mind playing. I don't mind playing any of them, but this one, for some reason, I enjoy playing.
Yeah, because does it get tiresome?
Not really. There's maybe, I won't tell you which ones, but there's only about one or two songs in the catalogue that I'm slightly sick of. And thankfully, they're not the biggest hits. So, I think it's a bit tedious when people don't want to play their biggest hits because they're sick of them. I quite like my most successful songs still.
Yo.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And the song that you don't mind playing, you're going to play for us now. It's from Woodface.
Well, I enjoy playing, yeah. It's from Woodface, and it was a song that had a chorus that sat apart for about 3 years, and I tried all these different verses for it, and eventually I found a piece of music that I'd written when I was about 17 years old, and Mitchell Froome pointed at it and said, "That's the one," and he was right, and we recorded it the same day as we made that discovery, and yeah, sometimes things take a long time.
Can you say that again? There's a bit in this song that you wrote when you were 19 years old.
17.
17?
Yeah.
What bit is it?
It's the verse, and the chorus I wrote many, many years later when I was about, how old was I? Like late 20s?
Yeah.
Early 30s. Yeah.
So some of the song would have been written in that Split Ends era?
Yeah, I was looking on at that point. I wasn't in Split Ends at that point, but I was looking on, yeah. And I found it on a tape and just remembered it and was playing it through, and Mitchell said, "Oh, that's the verse we're looking for." We tried, there's about 4 different recordings of Fall at Your Feet with different verses. They all sucked. Well, at the time we thought they were good, but they weren't right.
How interesting. Well, it's a pleasure to have you playing it here, live on RNZ. This is Crowded House, Neil Finn, with Fall at Your Feet.
I'm really close tonight. I feel like I'm moving inside her, lying in the dark. I think that I'm beginning to know her. Let it go. I'll be there when you call, and whenever I fall at your whenever I touch your slow turning pain. You're hiding from me now. Something in the way that you're talking, words don't sound right, but I hear them all moving inside you. Go, I'll be waiting when you call. And whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow turning pain, the finger of blame has turned upon itself, and I'm more than willing to offer myself. Do you want my presence or need my help? Who knows where that might lead? I fall. Whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears, let it rain down on me. Whenever I fall, whenever I fall.
Neil Finn from Crowded House, playing live in the RNZ studio. A track from Woodface, written many years ago, but still so timeless. Sometimes when I listen to that song, I feel quite emotional, but actually that time I couldn't stop giggling because I remember when I was working for you.
That's an emotion.
It is, but I remember a school approached you about changing a particular lyric of that song. They wanted to sing that song, but they wanted to change moving inside her to moving outside her or something.
Yeah,
and I think
I've had a couple of those over the years, and I think people might misunderstand, even though lines are ambiguous, and that song, if you think about it too much, it might seem like I'm being a little inappropriate, but it isn't at all for me.
No.
It's, the idea of inhabiting somebody is a much deeper concept than just being
Then
on them,
yes,
as the anchorman said once. Yeah.
Let's talk Gravity Stairs,
Okay.
the new album. When I was reading about Crowded House, I've never thought of you guys being an experimental band or a weird band, quote unquote. But apparently you are. And I think on Gravity Stairs, I can hear that a little bit. You're experimental in, I think, the instruments that you use, perhaps. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I think we've always had an inkling. There's always been an inkling of taking pop music and making it, distinctive and unique to what we do. And within that, there's an element of experimentation. But yeah, I think we're more and more attracted to having maybe a psychedelic aspect to what we do. It's just seemingly natural, and I think Liam's very inclined to find pretty quirky whack sounds, and his pedals and stuff. And Mitchell's always thinking of expanding the spatial elements of the sound. And yeah, I don't know. It's something we can't be too deliberate about, but it just seems to be evolving in a nice way to take people on a bit of a trip.
Yes.
As it were.
Yeah. The new album opens with the most fantastic track that I just have to keep going back to and listening to again because it's so layered and there's so many ideas in it. Magic Piano, it's called. Where did that track come from?
It was a song that I wrote based on, well, it wasn't really based on, but it was our kids and our grandkids love. I used to play the Magic Piano, which was a radio kids radio show from the 60s. And I used to listen to the kids' request session on RNZ back in the day, and I'm not sure if that's when I first heard it, but it's a really wacky story. And actually, there's some kind of weird vocoder that pops up at some point. The piano starts talking to this boy and becomes, enchanted, and he can play it effortlessly. And I sort of began thinking about the fact that the piano that I have in my little room in the corner is quite a magic instrument for me, and I go there and I totally inhabit it, and it takes me on quite elaborate journeys some days. So I sort of turned that reference point into a song about my quest for trying to find enlightenment out of music, and there's certain dark forces that the song references, and there's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of interesting developments, and it was the song we recorded first for the album, first in the sequence, and it was really hard for the band to learn. It took 2.5 days, and we really had to work hard on it. And it was a great victory when we got it, and actually almost everything you hear on there's a couple of overdubs, and I did the vocal again, but is us playing on the floor, having really worked hard to learn a great arrangement. So, yeah, all the bass guitars, drums, keyboards are all live. So
Awesome. And when you say on the floor, that's you're not sitting on the floor.
no, too hard to get up now.
Yeah.
And no, we were just, the band was playing in a studio live. It wasn't, a lot of stuff gets layered in the studio. You start off maybe with a drum track and then you add things, but this started off with the whole band playing, and we really learnt it in an old-fashioned way and sweated it out. And but it was actually our engineer was delighted. It took 2 days because he had the chance to make the sound really primo, and it sounds beautiful, that track. It's got a lovely sound about it.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think that's where my it's awesome. I love it lots.
Good.
The title Gravity Stairs, I'm still working with that in my head to try and understand what it means. It was inspired by a staircase that you visit on holidays.
Yeah, it's a particularly heavy staircase that we've struggled up many times with suitcases, and it just always feels like it's got double gravity on it than anywhere. And we imagine that it opens up into the underworld, and they're trying to pull you down. So the effort to get up there and we often have music playing, or we often play on the deck at the top of these stairs, and these friends of ours come over. And so quite often I'm ascending the stairs coming up from dinner, and I hear the sound of bazookies. And so it's kind of a magic thing, and it draws you forward. It just seemed like it was representative of the struggle you go through to make beauty and to find, enlightenment. And there's a recurring theme on the record, I think. I kind of might have explained it in some of the early. I wrote a little. There was a bio, and it said, this is about struggling to get up, but it's a bit more than that. It's the mechanics of living involve every day getting out of bed and actually having the will to push on through. And it's I think we've done that with this record. It feels like it.
Was it hard work?
It's hard work because we're not living in the same place. We're all spread out around the globe. Nick's in Ireland. Elroy's been in London, Liam's in LA, Mitchell's in LA. So we're sending files to each other. Everything's slowed down by that. It's in some ways good because everyone gets a chance to work their ideas through in their own environment, where in a studio, if you're with a band, you might get rubbished within 5 minutes and just move on. But that's got mixed blessings as well. So people work for 2 days on a really obscure idea, and then it gets passed over and they feel kind of sort of crushed. Sometimes. No, it slows down the process. So it is, it's difficult. Making music is really, really difficult, and then it's really easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You've always been a really hard worker, or you've got fantastic work ethic. Even though you're very successful, you still get up every day and go to the studio, don't you?
As much as I can, yeah. And just turning up every day is the secret ingredient, really. Is like the magic strikes every now and again. The inspiration comes once in a while, but turning up every day improves your odds that it's going to turn up. So yeah, I learned a long time ago that endurance is probably the most important thing. I know I have a natural talent that I was given, but you squander that, and you can languish. And when you're young, sometimes you feel like it's just because it's really easy for a little while. Sometimes you go, I'm just writing these songs, and I can still have a, mess around, and I can, it'll just turn up, and then it doesn't for a while. And you actually end up thinking, well, okay, now it's time to knuckle down, and there's a huge urge and a compulsion to do it because it ultimately feels like music's incredibly important, and on the one hand, it's also cosmically insignificant, but unless you feel like it's the most important thing in the world, you'll never get anything done. So, I think in the world, with the way it is, music's one of the few things that almost everybody on the world can agree on. It's got value,
It's healing. Speaking of which, I'd love you to play another song on your guitar. Are you going to play All That I Ever...
All I can ever own. And so it'll be the first time I've played this one outside of the... don't be surprised if I have to start again, but you never know. I might get through it.
And is there anything you can tell us about the song before you play it?
It's probably one of the most direct songs on the record, about the mixture of feelings you have when you've got a small child in your midst, and the way that you have to prepare yourself for the gradual process of letting go, holding them close and letting them go. And it's quite, tricky. Yeah.
Whenever I remember my days when I grew old, I'm grateful, and I hold this child in my arms. Heaven knows I'm hopeful, and you look so deep in my eyes, and I'm faithful. Revelations on the ride home, that when love is in my heart, it's all that I can ever own. I might push her away if I don't be careful, and my worries keep me awake. Every night I'm fearful that the storm might cause her to stray, or some slimy devil. Revelations on the ride home, that when love is in my heart, it's all that I can ever own. That when love is in my heart, it's all that I can ever own. Sing it for me, sandcastle shiver, taken by the river into the great unknown. Sing it for me, send me to heaven. Let the child go wandering and following her heart. We all become a part of someone else. When love is in my heart, it's all that I can ever. Love is in my heart, it's all that I can ever own. It's in my heart, it's all that I can ever own.
It's Neil Finn performing tracks from the brand new Crowded House album called Gravity Stairs. It's out now, and Neil, you've got so many gigs coming up.
It's a big year unfolding.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they leave us gaps nowadays so we can rest and recuperate. So yeah, we have a bit of. I'm going to Africa actually with Sharon, my wife. We're going to visit a school. So the schools that a organisation we support called So They Can have been responsible for developing and building and resourcing these schools in Kenya and Tanzania, and it's been a remarkable success, and I'm sort of proud to be a small part of it. And we're going to go and visit these kids. I put a video out recently with the song Oh Hi, which was featuring these amazing kids, so I sort of know them. I'll get to the school and I go, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
And they know the song and they like the song, and so it was a nice little swap. I wrote the song inspired by them. Yeah.
And do they know who you are? Do they know that you're quite well known?
They would have been told a little bit about it, and they, the song got played for them, and they kind of responded in a really cool way and seemed to like it and danced a bit to it. And I'll try and tempt them out to sing it with me when I get there.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, they're just such amazing kids, and they would be, not in an area where school was even possible if 10, 20 years ago. And it's just incredible resource that the world misses out on unless you get amongst it. And these kids are just as likely to solve the world's problems as anyone, in the West, possibly more likely. And so you got to give them a chance. And I'm very glad to be part of that.
Yeah, they're very lucky to have you be part of it too. So They Can is that charity if anyone wants to look it up. And we'll post the video clip actually on our website too because it's beautiful. They're so happy.
It's joyous. Yeah, I didn't really want to portray it as like, the old trope of, we need to go in there and help these kids because they're completely capable of helping themselves. They just, but an education, as we all know, is incredibly critical. And you just have to look at them to know what potential there is. So yeah, have a look, check it out, So They Can.
The album Gravity Stairs, it has a lot of themes of connection, I guess, and love. Was that conscious?
Yes, in a sense, because you're wanting to put... it's not conscious. The way the lyrics come out for me is very unconscious, but I sort of thread things together, hoping to provoke some or evoke some empathy, I suppose. And when you feel it yourself that it's got... when you feel a connection to the song you're singing, that it's got a possibility it'll make people feel connection to other people. And so you hope for that. That's a really nice outcome if that's the case. If music can serve to, accompany important things for people and bring people back to the important things in living, then you really, it feels incredibly worthwhile. And we have people tell me about how and sometimes the same song became useful to somebody when they were going through a really awful time in their lives, and sometimes it accompanied a joyous time, and sometimes it's the same song. So it's mysterious. I leave, things a little bit open-ended in my songs, in part so that people can see them or hear them the way they want to.
And is Crowded House together now for a long time? That's your main project that you're sort of focusing on?
It would appear so, yeah. I'm going to be I'll do other things because I'm pretty restless in terms of playing with other people. I've got other musical connections that I've made that I want to keep going. But it's a brilliant vehicle for bringing new songs to the mix, and something about a band feels really worthwhile. You're sharing the entire experience with people who invested in it, and they're invested in you. So it's a lot of support, and it makes doing videos and promotion and TV shows a lot more fun when you can sit around and subvert the process as a band. When you're solo, you feel quite... I'm not with you, Charlotte, obviously, because we know each other. But sometimes it feels a little bit earnest and a bit lonely. So having a band's fantastic. Yeah,
especially, cheeky band members or band members that know how to...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if we just prefer to subvert all of it, really, because none of it should be taken too seriously, other than, hopefully the songs when you're making them. But yeah, otherwise the rest of it, we all know it's, the music business is, pretty frivolous and, not very productive sometimes. So yeah, if you can subvert it, the more the better.
Tell me about the album artwork, because it has a resemblance to another album, and I wondered if there was anything. It reminds me of the Revolver artwork. Was there any connection to that?
Nick knew that would be a reference point for people. It was an album it was his favourite album cover when he was a kid. He obsessed over it, and he did a whole lot of drawings at school. You know how kids do drawings at school? He did a whole lot of drawings based on that. So he's acknowledging his roots to some extent. I think it's got other elements that are quite him as well, but yeah, I mean, he doesn't mind. Everyone pointed it out when we saw it. Hey, it looks a bit like Revolver. And well, I'm just acknowledging my roots.
I like that. No other Revolver influences on the album?
Not overtly. I mean, people might spot things here and there that are sort of in my DNA. You can't get rid of. But I think normally we try and steer away from any direct references.
Neil Finn, congrats on the new Crowded House album, Gravity Stairs. It's beautiful. We can't wait to hear it live, like with your big band, with your full band again. New Zealand dates to be announced?
There will be New Zealand dates announced, later in the year. We're very excited about, because we played the last New Zealand tour right at the beginning before the last record was even out, and it was stuck in a little period where New Zealand was safe to tour and the rest of the world was locked down. But the benefit of this one is that people have had a chance to listen to the record, they'll know the songs, and to be honest, we're like a really better band now. We've done so many shows that I can't wait for New Zealand audiences to see us at our absolute best.
I can't wait too. You're going to play one last song for us and invite Jimmy through to play extra guitar. Yeah,
I'm going to get Jimmy in here. Jimmy actually is kind of taken over from you in a way.
So my old job was PA. You never got me on the guitar though.
He's got special. We could have showed you, because this part that he's going to play requires no musical talent whatsoever.
Oh, I could have done it.
And that's why I've got Jimmy in here. And no, actually, that's cruel and mean. He's quite talented. Actually, he plays nice piano. Yeah, he knows how to play Martha, My Dear, perfectly. And I've taught him this little thing 30 minutes before we got here. It's just to show that there are certain things that go through music that create atmosphere and I have a lot happen on my songs, that little motifs that are sort of sometimes buried going through the whole song, and they just provide a little bit of dreaminess, and Jimmy's going to do that for me today. Jimmy!
And the song is Teenage Summer.
Yeah.
Which evokes so many great memories.
Yeah, I struggled to. I wasn't going to call it Teenage Summer for a while, because I thought as somebody pointed out, it sounds like a I don't know, but it seems my grandson Mania said, Papa, I really like that Teenage Summer song, and I went, well, okay, that's the title then. Yeah. And so we made a late change. It was called Life's Imitation to start with. Yeah. Well, I'm always doing it. Always having a late thought. Yeah.
That's good. It's the creative brain. Oh, well, invite Jimmy into the studio and I'll pop out. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go on, Jimmy. He is a talented man. I just was joking. Where are you, Jim? Here he is.
There he is.
I just had to get that gag in. Sorry, Jim. Yeah. I'll undo my top button for this one. Yeah. Just to drive the listeners wild. Okay. Is it real or a fiction of your mind? Am I gone in a fraction of your time? You mistake my real intentions once again. Wanna be near you, wanted to hear you, but my words are light, like paper drifting in the sky. Not enough to be a witness of your life. All along I was hoping we would come of age, walking around you. I wanna surround you, but I can't get close enough. I can't get close enough. Wanted to find you, I wanted to break through life's imitation. I've been away too much, I've been locking it away too much. I'm here
here tonight, and I'm gone again. I'm here to pack up your bags and you're ready to fly. Pack up your bags and your baby, come on. Well, come on. Wanna be near you, wanted to hear you, but I can't get close enough. I can't get close enough. Wanna surround you, wanna be near you, but I can't get close enough. Wanna be near you, to care for you, can't get close enough. I wanted to break through life's imitation. Well, I've been away too much, I've been locking it away too much. I'm gonna call you life's imitation. I've been away too much, I've been locking it away too much. I'm gonna call you life's imitation. Blue heaven, are we gonna have some teenage summer? Am I gonna have some mad new year? Are we gonna have some teenage summer? Am I gonna have some mad